Good morning. We are live. Okay. Getting the old wet palette ready. Hey, Peter. Good morning. How are you, my friend? Okay. Joe, good morning. How are you? Anyway, happy Saturday, everybody. Hope your Fridays went well and hope you have a nice weekend planned. Let's see if I can get this chipping done today. That would make me very, very happy. Plan is to act and reflect on nothing. Reflect on nothing, huh? Okay. Why not? Why not? Just relaxing this weekend and preparing for a bit of Christmas and my inevitable return to Japan for New Year's. Nice. Peter, when are you flying back to Japan? December 27th. How very zen. I know, it's so zen. So zen. I will say there's something to be said about when this paint is just the right consistency. Using it for chipping is fabulous. Hey, Edwin. Good evening. How are you? Hmm. Sorry, there was a hair on there. Which they'll be working on getting games set up for Cyberpunk. Wonderful game, trying to find the best system to use. Looks like either Owlbear or Roll20. Cool. I know none of that. I know nothing of what that means, but that sounds pretty cool. Virtual Table role-playing game. Yes. Oh, curator. Back from photography, the local GBWC competition. Did not get the freebies because the Pikachu I want only comes out at 5 p.m. session, so I'll be back on Wednesday. Nice. They'll have it again then. Cool. Pikachu, huh? Rewatch yesterday's stream as me OD. Let me just say two things. Congratulations on the new job for your wife. Thank you. And you get to live together again and hope the sale of the company goes through. It's thank you on both counts. I really mean it, Peter. Hey, Mike, good morning. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your day, brother. Yeah, we got some details last night. My wife and I talked about her new contract, which is I'm very happy about. But our office is going to be what our office is until something happens. There's been a lot more meetings between the broker and the owner, so I'm hoping that something will come of it. There's supposed to be an all company meeting next week too on Wednesday, and we'll see what that does. But the long term is this is just not sustainable. Not sustainable. But thank you, Peter. Morning, G. Today at the store, we have our Gundam model build day, 100% sponsored by Bandai. Really? Sweet. You got to love that. My question for you about that is is it sponsored by Bandai through Hobbytown, or is that something that you worked with Bandai on, or Bandai, did they reach out to you? Hey, Manny, good morning. No, I don't say it much, but I'm proud of you, brother. Oh, Manny, that's very awfully kind of you to say. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I appreciate that. Ray, good morning. That watch was cute. Ray, that watch was definitely cute. Not sure. That's a Kim question. Well, see, that's an important one, especially considering how the Hobbytown relationship might change with you guys. Excuse me one second. Let's see. Let me see. As I went to the hobby store and found the Gundam artifact, tall geese. I want, of course, I have to. Of course, you have to buy it. Total lily pad or what? We'll tell the time. I know it was very cool. Anyway, thank you, Manny. Manny, I hope all is going well. In fact, funny enough, when we were in New York My wife and I were in New York a few weeks ago to just did a 1 day in and out, go see a show and go to a restaurant. Um, we're on the train, literally driving, going from New Haven to Grand Central. And in fact, I'm like, I wonder where Manny is right now. I thought a few times. It's like, anyway. Boy, I have to tell you, that was an experience. That was an experience. Sitting on 120, there will be more days to come, I'm sure. Good morning, George, and hello. Hey, Tony, good morning. Mike, quick question for you. Which RX-78 kits are they providing you? Are they the sort of like the giveaways, or is it an actual like HG or EG or something? What's going on, Tony? I am going to do a bit of a show and tell later, but I wanted to just say, funny enough, Manny sparked the thought about something that my daughter and I were talking about last night. My daughter asked me, you know, she was saying something about, kind of like being immortal. We're having an interesting conversation about being immortal and having um, uh, being young and just kind of, like not necessarily in a routine, but just being in a place where you just, you can just not age and just be able to experience the same things over and over again, something to that effect. And she says, don't you, and then she kind of turned it around afterward and said, what do like, don't you wish you were young? And the answer is no, actually, I don't. I'm, I'm, as much as like life has been fucked for us in so many different ways. At the same time, I've enjoyed the journey. At 60, it's like, no, I don't want to be 20 again. Those are good times. I enjoyed a lot of stuff that I did in my 20s, but I like what I'm doing now. I like the people that I've met. I like my interests today are different from my interests, when I was 20, 30, 40. And I like that. Apparently today is Big Gundam Day in Japan as the new MD Barbatos Lupin is released today. Nice. I have no clue. I'd say give it the giveaway. Giveaway as I can. Yeah, that'd be curious. More curious than anything else. Weapons and water slides. Nice. So you are very, very close to getting it done. How much longer do you think before you're done, Tony? What's going on, Ken? Good morning. Kenny, hey Ken, Joe, just check the ad. It says RX-78 to Gundam. Yeah. Repeater. I love that. Repeater. Fell asleep last night. Did not get much done on this model at all. It's actually supposed to be on the Zoom meeting last night too, but my daughter and I were just caught in conversation. Then it's like, you always watch an episode of Babylon 5 or something, so we did that instead. Did not attend the Patriot Zoom meeting. I guess I also kind of needed a night off. I didn't really want to. There's nothing wrong with taking a night off. I got a special holiday dish they will be cooking up. I got sweet potato casserole. I mean to watch the yesterday's stream, but knocked out after going all you can eat. Yeah. For the 11th birthday. Yeah, I get it. That's what we call food coma. It sounds like you've had a good week, though, Edwin, and that's great, man. See, this is interesting. I'm not sure if this is a brush issue. I'm gonna do something there. I think the brush may not be holding paint correctly. Let's try that again. Paint seems pretty consistent. I got a little puddle of it here. It should be fine. The hardest thing about weathering, the hardest thing has always been becoming too excessive. And I'm still not. That's the one mistake I continue to make. Still get to be a little too much. But it's all right. Again, I'm going for story here, and I'm okay with that. So there's the second hand, basically all done. Got a couple more spots to drop in. Let's see. Probably a day or two. Did I not say hi to Ken yet? I think I did. I hope I did. Holiday dish. Holiday dish. Cornbread dressing is the big one for my wife. That's very much a Texas thing that she brought up. I watched the Mighty release on Prime. Very different box marking, but amazing. I have no idea what that is. What's Mighty 9? Work is almost done on the 35 figures of the Tau. Already, yes, you did. Okay, good. I thought I did, but so I can continue with their clothes. Nice. Edwin, question: what paints do you use? Are you primarily a Games Workshop? Do you use what they call those things, the Citadel paints, or what? Righty then. Just gonna hit some of this pink area. Mighty 9 is a cartoon enemy that comes from a D&D campaign. Oh, interesting. Okay. From a D&D campaign. Here's Mr. Hobby for the overall color, blind, but detail. He's Vallejo. Only use the Citadel, Null Oil, and Brown Variant for games. I love the 40 game. I don't really love the company. Yeah. Okay, cool to know. Thank you. But yeah, it's always interesting, especially considering you're. It seems like you do a lot of mini painting, and I'm always curious to see what it is that people use for their what's their weapon of choice in that regard. Started raining earlier here. Had to go tarp my wood pile, tarp it up. Before to get the second layer of this chipping, that's going to be fun. That's when you start getting in some of the secondary rust tones in here. My thought process also in how this thing is getting chipped. So I just want to, it's got a little heavy there. The other thought process on how this thing gets chipped is that the white color is sort of like the base color. You got your primer, almost exactly like how it was really painted. So in terms of the mecha itself, you had primer, you had the white, and then you had all of these other paint layers laid on top. So chipping would occur much more in the white layer and be more visible than in the colored layer. There'd just be a little bit, I don't know. I'm just thinking to myself, it would be on there a little stronger. Could I be deluding myself? Of course I can, but it's my story and I'm sticking with it. Not to hijack the combo, but the beat that my heart skipped was a great movie. Oh, I've heard it's great. Yeah. It's been in my queue for a while now, Ken. Thank you for confirming that. Is it for a new crawler course? Write it down from then and have him trying to experiment with local store code to see. Time. Say money have not arrived. Prime minis yet to try on. Yeah. Cool. There we go. A little heavier there. And a couple spots along here. Not much. Yeah, the I've known about that film for a number of years now. Oops. Got some blue tack in there. Oh boy, do I ever. I've known about the film for many years now, and it's like it's always been in the queue to watch at some point. Now, if memory serves, ODR released. There was another film that he did recently that also got some pretty high praise, and I'm spacing out on what it was. All right, that's all I need. Don't need a lot. Okay, legs are done. I got to do some chipping on the inside here too. Not a lot. Let's get to the body here. Let's see what we got here. Did you see Prime picked up Stargate for new season? I was kind of surprised. I figured Stargate was done and over. Was Stargate redone? I haven't watched any of the Stargate TV series, which is kind of bizarre, but I have not. But was this a new series that they just picked up? You know what? Fuck it. Let's, before we get started on that, let's do a little show and tell. All right. Get a hit of coffee going on my, if Mike is still on, the entire Turn 4 logo has just faded away. Now it's just a bland big mug. All right, let's get it's a little bit of a show and tell. So let's see what we got here. They're doing a continuation series, I guess. I only ever watched the movie and the first series they did. Yeah. Never watched any of the first series. I've watched the movie, which I enjoyed. I didn't think it was all that great, so I never really got into Stargate. But yeah, it's a new chapter in the Stargate story. Yeah, but I've always been kind of fascinated by it. But obviously, it's been a series that had a lot of interest over the years. All right, so AliExpress order. I decided I was going to pick up some supplies more than any kind of like tank models. Meng is introducing 3 more Chinese tanks or armored vehicles. They're doing the ZTQ 99, their main battle tank, the ZTQ 100, and then they're doing, I think it's called the PLB 95, I think is what it is. Then it's basically an artillery piece. The shows are great, consistently great stories and visuals. Interesting. I've always heard that, and I don't know why I never got into it. Maybe it's just because, I mean, it ran for a long, long time, and to invest that kind of time into a series just seemed like very late in the game. Seemed kind of a difficult thing, but who knows? Maybe one of these days I'll have to visit that. There's a number of series that I start, and it's like I get a few episodes. Like, for example, like Alien Earth, I will not be watching a second season. It was good, but it wasn't like good enough. Do I really want to put another 10 plus hours into it? And the answer is no. All right, AliExpress. First things I got. Terrain pieces. So this is basically, these are DIY plant flower. These are red plants, basically red flowering plants. And then I got 2 different types of grasses, like a tufts of grass. So I got this darker green and this lighter green with some just wispy stuff that's a little bit more yellow. And it's possible that those may end up on this little diorama base here. He got grass. He did. First series was super good. I don't know about the spin-off ones. Yeah. It's me, Dave. Open up. So we got those. I did pick up some more of these things because these things come in super handy and these were cheap. So I picked up a bunch of these, 100 of these things for like, I don't know, $3 or something like that. These little cotton swabs with the pointy ends on them. Nice container too. And the rest of it, because, having more paint skewers is a good idea, right? Because having more paint skewers means you can put more stuff on paint skewers and not paint it. 10 plus hours, try 350, catch up on story. Yeah, that's the problem. Were they really up to 350 episodes? I diggity damn. All right, real quickly. So these are paint skewers with a magnetic base, which I think is really cool. They have a couple of varieties of these. They also had made ones kind of like the other ones that I have with a flexible base. I didn't care for that. This is perfect because this could be nice because I can just I got a couple of metal things. I can just stick these things up if I ever want to do it. And also these tips, rubber tips can come off, which I've already taken off on a couple of them. And there you go. Magnetic paint skewers. A few of them just in case. Those are cool. I was looking at the mag ones. Yeah, these are pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to giving these a try at some point because I think, like, for example, like I got an oil tank right over here. I can literally throw stuff on there and have it supported that way. So all it does is it just gives me additional ways of supporting parts and pieces. And then these are kind of interesting. So I saw these, and Tony, you probably saw these as well. These are reverse alligator clips where the jaws are open and you have to push them. And what you do is you hold apart, say something like you wanted to hold on to this and you wanted to paint the entirety. Well, you can't just clip the side of it, right? So now you can do something like hold it like that. Now you're not touching the surface and you can paint the surface. So pretty smart idea. So a reverse alligator clip. It's a pressure clip. Yeah, is that what they call them? Yeah, they actually call them an alligator clip. It's not, it's kind of like, but it's a reverse one in terms of if you think about how they normally would work. And I don't know what the hell this thing is made out of. This could be metal. But boy, I got to tell you, these things feel pretty substantive. And these are, I don't know, $3, $4, $5, whatever it was. Not a lot. I like those reverse clips. Don't know if I've seen those. Yeah, AliExpress. And Ken, if you'd like, I'll put them. They're made by Weibo. I'll just put this up here if you want to grab any information. And that's the packaging right there. I'll leave it. I'm sorry. I'll leave it like this. Sorry, guys. So if anybody wants to grab any information, but these were on AliExpress. All this stuff is stuff I found on AliExpress. So, these are the things that I kind of like. So, look, would I prefer to buy a lot of this stuff locally? And the answer is, of course. It's just that you're not going to see a reverse alligator clip at a local shop. Sorry, they just don't do that. You're not going to see a magnetic clip, alligator clip, at a local shop. Sorry, I prefer crocodile clips. Like your crocodile tears. I don't know the name, but if they apply reverse pressure, so yeah, exactly. So again, whatever I don't care what they call them, as long as they do what they need to do. And frankly, I've been thinking about that because generally what we do is you take some kind of blue tack on a what they call it on a toothpick or a skewer of some sort, and that's it. And it's like, well, that's good, but it can wander a little bit. This can be a little bit firmer. So yeah, those are a good find, I think. SG1 ran for 10 seasons. Wow, Atlantis ran for 5 seasons and Universe ran for 2. But the new show will be designed to not require prior knowledge, but reward it, they say. Okay, that's cool. I mean, it's like most shows. It's like you try to honor the history and do stuff for your fan base, but at the same time try to get new fans in. Gundam has tried to do that. Star Trek, Star Wars, all of them try to do that. All right, and then the last thing was, so I went to Barnes and Noble yesterday because I wanted to pick up Citizen Kane on 4K. They had a Criterion has a sale going on at Barnes and Noble, 50% off, and I figured, okay, I'm definitely going to buy that because Citizen Kane is one of my all-time favorite films, definitely in the top 10. And the movie section was literally right next to the Gundam section, so I'm like, all right, let's just see. Well, I'm waiting for her to find. I asked them, I couldn't find the Citizen Kane. I knew it was listed in the store. I said, hey, can somebody just look this up for me? So while somebody's trying to find it, I'm looking over next to another kiosk and there's a bunch of Gundam there. I'm like, all right, let's just see what's there. So I finally found this guy, the Gundam EX. So, and picked it up really cheap. I'm not sure if they were selling these things at a ridiculously low price, but I think I paid $23 for it, which is, I thought, relatively inexpensive, given I think all this stuff has gone up in price significantly. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe that's the normal price. Look at that detail. Yeah. Star Wars set out to kill any love remaining in old school fans, it seems. Oh, well, without a doubt. Yeah. It is funny. I would love for Disney to release Star Wars, not A New Hope, Star Wars. Now, I'm old enough to have seen it in the theater when it first came out. And all you had was the Star Wars logo and then that entire spiel that ran, that kind of ran behind it. It wasn't episode 4. There's something about the magic of that film because it was done at a time when everything was analog. It's the original. I'd love for them to release that, and that would be fan service because obviously most people would be looking at that and be like, "Oh, those special effects are dated." Yeah, but I think you're right, Peter. I think it's Star. I've lost all interest in Star Wars in the same way like I've lost anything Disney touches. I generally lose interest in. I'm no longer a Star Wars fan. I can barely stomach any of. I mean, I can't even watch. I haven't watched the last season of The Mandalorian. I mean, would I like to watch Andor again? Yeah, but it's like I'm so burned out on all of that. What it was at one point when I want to give kind of an understanding of how it was when I was a kid. Oh, where Han shot first. Yeah, that's the kid and Zaku were the largest number watched reviews I had gotten. Were they released due to a Target error? Really? Yeah, Target had them for a while, but then I heard because I think Joe was saying that they had them there too. Usually the worse the reviews are in new Star Wars, the more we enjoy it, except episodes 1, 2, 3. Skeleton Crew was great, and we enjoyed The Acolyte. I have no idea what any of that stuff is. So, when Star Wars first came out, and it's aside from like just the visual impact of the first movie, after the first movie, and this is before, again, there was no internet. There was a discussion of, holy shit, this movie is really taking off. You see, things in the newspaper about the success of Star Wars. It was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Picture, all of that stuff. And there was rumor that they're going to be releasing a movie, and the anticipation of the second movie was huge. Second movie comes out, massive success. That was the anticipation of the final film, right? That level of anticipation is gone because now we're so bombarded with, new TV show, new movie, new this, new that, new whatever it is. And it's the same thing with Marvel. I feel like it's gone so far beyond. There's so much bombardment of this stuff. It's like, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And maybe that's just the way my brain works. I appreciated the slowness of how things came out because then you're able to enjoy a well thought out singular story as opposed to all these different things that are going on in this universe and all coming at you at a rapid fire. Anyway, my cross to bear. I'm done with all that stuff. Um, like I said, will I watch Andor season 2 at some point? Maybe. Do I have a lot of interest? Not really. Did I enjoy it? Oh yeah, quite a bit. But it's one of those. It's like I don't know. It's lost a lot of its Star Wars in general. It's not Star Wars. Let's just leave it at that. It's not Star Wars. Let's see. That's Star Wars in the theaters when it was released. There was no New Hope title. Yeah, exactly. I've seen because one of the Blu-ray releases that I think that what Fox did before Disney bought it, they did include a copy of Star Wars. And I've watched that a few times. It's a shitty letterbox. No, they haven't cleaned it up. It's literally a beat up film. But it's nice to actually watch that without any of the changed special effects, the addition of Jabba or any of that stuff. Let's see. I've been done with Star Wars and Marvel both for a long time. Yeah, and even now, my daughter and I watched Superman. And I did it because I wanted to with her because we wanted to watch something together. That was kind of like a no-brainer. It's like at the end of it, I'm like, first of all, there's some very bad things that went on in that film that I morally had a problem with. But overall, it was like, yeah, I'm kind of done. Superhero films, watching cities getting destroyed, big battle scenes, it's like the example is if anybody's ever seen the movie Idiocracy, I feel like that's what we're kind of in, except that we're instead of having the movie Ass 25, which is going to win an Academy Award, you have you've got Marvel now just regurgitating and DC regurgitating the same shit. That was a DVD release. I believe it was, but they included it with the Blu-ray release, Peter. You pick up the phone off the wall while staying. Yep, within the core reach. After all, you had home. Calling was home. Then you could talk about Star Wars. Exactly. Those were the good days. There's something about this, and I'm not trying to get into with all the stuff that's happening with AI and the technology and social media, and I know we've got that going on right now. I wish we would come back to a time where just slow things down a little bit. Technology is marching at such a rapid pace right now that, yeah, there is something to be said about picking up your corded phone. You can't travel more than 10 feet from the base. And you had to call somebody, and you probably just got a dial tone because they were probably out or something, right? And it's not like you could text them or anything like that. There was a simplicity to it. Now, do I say that I like that? No, I prefer what we have now. But I also think it's like there's just way too much of this stuff that impacts us. And it's nice to just kind of have it slow down just a little bit. I don't think the human brain can process all this shit that's coming at us at this pace. I know I've just changed the conversation. I'm sorry, guys. How the Shoes Crocs were first featured in Idiocracy. Were they really? Is that where they first appeared? That's cool. Great film, by the way. So prescient. Phone call that was overly stretched, hanging there, all tangled. Oh, I know. Wasn't it great? In my day, I met a basketball team player. Exactly. That was nice before the Mouse Empire Marvel situation. Now it's the same exact thing. Comics, we have nice thing in Pacific Rim, then the studio blew it. Yep. You have some way that I can upload 74 gigabit file to. I have the 4K 77 project restoration stars in New Hope. Who is the 4K 77 project? Is this a if you have some way? Well, I've got, internally, I've got storage space. I'm just trying to figure out how to get the file. Peter, is this a third party that did it? I'm assuming Fox didn't do it. What do they use? Like AI to upscale it? There's what it is other than getting kicked off the PC because someone picked up the and killed the modem signal. Exactly. But the point of it is, look, I'm not suggesting, it's funny. You get to a certain age and it's like, you kids. I am not suggesting that we should that things were better back in my time. That's not my point. What I'm suggesting is it would be nice for things just to slow down. The staccato pace of what's happening right now is it's excessive. That's all I'm saying. And I would love to see things just slow down a wee bit. I blame DARPA for it all. Probably. All right, let's get some chipping going here. So here's going to be interesting. So we're going to do a little bit, nothing inside there, but just a little bit on this surface here, a little bit on these front surfaces. Again, I'm not going to go heavy. The hands and the feet, a little bit more. The body itself, not as much. It's a fan project where they sourced original 35 millimeter prints, scanned them, and repeated the original origin edit and color graded the original film. How the fuck did they do that? So they're not sourcing off the original negative, but they have an original 35 millimeter print. Wow. Yeah, I'd love to see that. That'd be kind of cool. That would be cool. There we go. Not a lot, just a little bit right on that. Just doing a little bit right along this raised area right here above the skirt. Things seem to come about more organically. Now it is quantum mechanics. Yeah, I that's a very good way of putting it, Ken. Absolutely. I think, and again, I just don't think that the human mind has moved on enough to be able to process all of this stuff. You know, my daughter and I had an interesting conversation last night about her worldview, and I kept telling her, but your worldview is being colored by you're spending 15 minutes in front of Instagram and getting news that's targeted to whatever your psyche says. So if you're like into all the negative stuff that's happening to trans people, to women's rights, all that stuff, and you see that, and that's always in your face, your thought is, this is how the world is going. In the same way that if you're spending all your time like me, who just, looking at what's going on with Trump, it's like you can focus on all the negativity that's coming out of the White House. So we get lost in the perspective of, but there's a lot of good stuff that's going on in the world too. We just don't see it. So anyway, it would be good. And I like Ken's approach to this. It would be good for it to just slow the fuck down. That's all I'm getting at is like, and part of it is for us, how do you disconnect? Mike, good morning. How are you? I like the movie Paycheck. I've never seen Paycheck. Is it a good film, Joe? It sounds like you liked it. The existential elk theory. Ken, you teach me new things all the time. What's the existential elk theory? Future, so we make it the future. Yes, Joe. That's very much so. Good man. How you doing? Doing all right. Things have the last few weeks have been kind of up and down, but we got some good news. My wife is taking on a job that's bringing her back home, starting in I think sometime in March. Um, and uh, um, and from my perspective, work is still fucked, but that's all right. How are you? How's the family? And how's Yale doing? We're there often enough, Mike. I'm gonna be in North Haven on Sunday. I'm gonna be going up to the Sleeping Giant in the morning, and then I'm gonna go catch a women's basketball game at which my daughter will be cheering. So be in your neck of the woods. It's not a vision. It's a fucking night. Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare, Joe. I agree. Family's great. Job is awesome. Well, geez, Mike. Whoa. Ramp it down there, son. Ramp it down. Don't get so excited about work. Actually, I'm very happy for you, Mike. Very happy for you. So the skirt area is the one area I think I am going to do a little bit more into the particularly the orange area. And I'll probably do a little bit of light like second layer chipping. There we go. Basically stated our brain has evolved to the point of being superfluous and burdensome to our future existence. So if I were to interpret that a little bit further, that basically means that we are almost turning into automatons where our brain, if it isn't being used, we're just basically moving machines that are being moved by what? By external forces? Ken, am I reading that correctly? It's fucking Niper like a bad wet dream. Yeah, I would say so. Like a really bad wet dream, like an anti-wet dream. Well, let's change the channel. It has to start with us engaging others into activities. Yeah, exactly. I will say this: it's been very, very enjoyable not doing any social media except for this. My family every now and then still sends me, my daughter in particular, still sends me all this stuff on Instagram. It's like I rarely check it. I just don't need it. There we go. The only place I can see some chipping happening up here. I just don't see a lot of it happening like in the body itself. Along the skirting, I can see that, but not a lot. Let's see. Similar to the ancient Irish elk, whose antler rack grew to sizes that led to its own extinction. That's where that comes from. That makes sense. Nice. Such a thing as a bad wet dream? Depends on what you're dreaming about, I guess. So I call it the anti-wet dream. Limit social media time, feel way better. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still watch a lot of the political stuff, but in terms of like being on and just doing anything else, no. And I listen to a lot of that stuff while driving. I actually cut back on a lot of it too, because it's not important enough. You know, But let's see. I think we're going to do a little bit of damage here because I have. There we go. One of the lines that one of my scribing lines when I rescribed part of the gas tank cover. I guess that's a gat. Where the hell is it? Right there. I had a little bit of ramping, so I think we are going to chip a little bit of this area here. Maybe just, I don't, Jesus, I don't know. Wear and tear. Chipping is wear and tear, right? And I don't envision this thing having, except for like the hands, the feet, I don't envision like the body getting smashed. Oh, you're having said wet dream. Yeah, it gets to a point that it is exhausting. That's exactly it. And that's why, like, for me, I don't care if this channel grows. I don't care if I would certainly like to have more people engaged, but I'm not looking to grow an audience. I just want to have more conversations with people. This is what this is about, you know. And I'll post photos of what the project is like just for people to see what's going on with the actual work that I'm doing. Do a little bit of chip in there. Now, the arms moving in and out might cause some damage. And this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at where would the damage occur? Right? Damage would occur on edges from parts moving. And if something hit it hard enough, and other than that, I just don't see, I don't know. When we get to the engine itself, I mean, there's going to be a lot of like schmutz and stuff like that, but you're not going to have chipping around the engine. I mean, maybe some paint flaking off because it got too hot. Yeah, maybe. But again, then the whole tailpipe for the most part is black, except for this side. I might just do a lot of, you know what? I'll do some chipping there. Heat around the engine, I can see that happening. Let's see. Sorry, guys. It gets exhausting. Yep. How does the one depict with the model the emotional damage? The emotional damage? Tears. Tears of the cat. I have no idea. All right. We're going to do a little bit of chipping over here. Yeah, really, not a lot. Turn it over. And I will have to chip the skirts too a little bit. Hello. Little bug of some sort. There we go. Again, not a lot, just a little. The weapon itself would not get hit in any way, shape, or form. We're going to chip around the exhaust area. Maybe they make emotional chipping. That'd be fun. I'd like that. You have to look at the pilot clumsiness. Exactly. Kind of redefines tiger stripe camouflage. I guess it does. Guess it would. So not there, but here, yes. In fact, I'm gonna go pretty extreme here. We're gonna chip the paint here, and then we're also gonna do the rust tone underneath it. Almost the entire edge of this thing, I think, is gonna be chipped. I'm just gonna, yeah, I can see paint just flaking off of this thing like crazy. Okay, that'll be good. I should do a traumatic wash on all my models. I chip with regret. Nice. Yeah, that's funny. So I guess I could chip the bolts too, but then there'll, I guess that could be fine. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We're gonna do that too. Just a little bit of wear on some of these bolts. You know, like somebody decided to take this engine cover off. Let's see. If I give you anything that would appeal to my third grade level of nice. Working hard on the model's emotional damage. Are we? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, this is the fun stuff. This is where like that freedom to do as you want really makes a lot of sense, you know. If you can tell the story and you can sell it, that's all that matters. And I'm selling the story. There we go. So I want to make sure I got all the bolts here. 1, 2, 3, yeah, all those. Yep, 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 yep. Do a little bit underneath here. There we go. All those are done. Those are done. Now what I'm going to do is just chip a little bit along the edging of the top here where the hatch kind of comes down. Just a little. Probably stick with super fudge. Nice. My feeling is it would probably chip more on one side, probably on the side with the hinge more than the other side. So it might be a little bit more aggressive on this side. Sorry, guys. Give me a moment here. There we go. Believe it or not, we're almost done with the chipping on this. There's not much more to do. Just because, again, I don't want to be overly aggressive on it. It's only one finished model for me this year. I'm trying to get to 2, Mike, so I kind of feel you. Which one did you finish this year? And how close are you to finishing another one? Super Fudge is like 1,000 pages. Make, some Crota, not close on anything else. Again, Big Hug Buddy, you got this. You got this. All right, we're going to take a hit of the coffee, and then we're going to get back to chipping. Is anybody doing any model work now or not? It'd be Kaye. Boy, you got a lot of places. I'm going to have to get the blue tack out. In fact, sorry, guys. It's raining today and no swim meets, so I may get to the bench today. Nice. Me, I'm working on panel line the Kshatriya's funnel. Sweet. Per your own statements, what diagram will this model live in and what story will it tell? What will it live in and what will it tell? The story it's going to tell is don't mess with the kitty. In a nutshell. Hey, come on out. Let's play. Not right now, but I have a Zentradi Regalt going on. Which one? Is this the new Hasegawa one? You tell me when you work on the original Emai one. Then we'll be talking. Living so hard right now. They added a smooth jazz station to Cyberpunk. Smooth jazz. I might actually be able to tomorrow. You might. If it's raining tomorrow, like I said, Ray, I will likely be there. If it is not raining, then I'm going to be at the Sleeping Giant. Okay. am. Hopefully I'll be feeling a little better. I'm a little under the weather too. Let's get to this side now. All right, edging is done. Do a little bit on this, a little bit of edge highlighting here for the most part. It's for like dry brushing this thing, which I might do anyway. We'll see. There is going to be dry brushing going on this too, which I'll try to get to today. Sorry, guys. You do the vertical trail yet? I have not. Love Sleeping Giant. No, I've only been up there once. I took the main trail, and that's probably the one up to the tower. I'll probably do the same thing tomorrow too, just to keep it simple because I gotta be I gotta head over to M&T after that. So, give me a second, guys. There we go. Sorry, like I said, I'm still finding light blue tack splotches. Okay. All right. The inner lid on this thing, and then we're going to get into the second layer of chipping. Fucking no idea how this thing's supposed to close. I'm looking at like the suspension-y bits here, and it's like, I don't understand. So many ways this model makes very little sense. But then again, I guess it's not supposed to. To quote from Monty Python, it's just a model. So guys, another moment. It's almost done. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Camper was the original idea behind the colors again. The original body paint, calico. Calico cap. You to sit with your esteemed colleagues and field questions for minions. They'd be pushing up daisies if you didn't nail it to the perch exactly. It's just the model. Okay. Let's see. These are the arm skirts. We'll do. I forgot to do these guys. Fuck. What time is it? Got plenty of time. No obligations today, which is good. Surface. That's it. Not a lot. Joe, you too, brother. Have a good one. I glad to have seen you this morning, and go out there and have fun today, brother. Do something good. Resolution CAD G25, the Calico, Armor Technology, G for George. Wow. Sounds good to me. Later, I'll go for now. See you tomorrow. Edwin, have a lovely evening, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Always good to have you on. There you go. This is cathartic. I'm looking forward to it being done, but this is very good. 1, 2. I have to break some pieces here at some point. Once we get this thing fully assembled. So the way this thing is hinged, can't remember if it's the upper arm. Yeah, the way the upper arm is hinged,
literally where the alligator clip is. I'm going to have to break the majority of that off to be able to slide it in and snap it into place. And then I'll glue it once we get the final positioning in place. Because there's no way of being able to, because of the way that hook is in there, that this thing just kind of slides into. That hook is so close to the top of the model that you can't just kind of get it over and snapped in. You have to literally cut this piece here, stretch it out, and snap it into place. And then that means it's going to be pretty loose, which is fine, because then I can just glue it into place afterward. I'm not sure if that made any sense to anybody, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. Last one. Don't you only have 2 people on? So you're just cleaning panel. Yeah. Yeah, the noisy. Yeah. Well, I just see that 2 people are listening here. It's like, I just want to make sure that I'm not talking to the ether sphere. And I like the noisy people. Talking into the void. Kimmy Elsby. Oh, it is. Some of the best conversations are the ones I had between me and me. Well, okay. And that is that. I'm still here too. Damn it! I thought Ken was gone. We're gonna talk about you. Just kidding. So, oh, let's take a little bit of a coffee break here. And then we're going to put in some chipping color. Let's see. Got to find a home for all these new tools. I guess that'll do for now. I don't know if even in the me and me conversations, would your Greek side let neither me nor me get the upper hand? Or would my Greek side? I don't know. I generally don't. See some paints. I don't know if even in the me and me conversations, would your Greek side let me nor me get the upper hand? I always look at it this way. Having just watched the Queen's Gambit, if you're how do you play chess against yourself? I guess it's kind of like how do you have an argument, a for and against argument against yourself? When you know the motivation of the other side, you know the arguments of the other side, the position of the other side. Existential question here. Drop in a little dark rust. I may actually just do dark rust rather than doing the chipping color. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. Might do both. Staring off into space a little bit. Sorry about that, my friends. Okay. Let's get this thing moistened a little bit. Yes, I said moistened. There we go. Moistened. Need a toothpick. All right, so this dark rust has more of a lighter color. I know that chocolate chipping is definitely darker. Yeah, this is more like a browner color. The dark rust is more of like a I'm terrible with color names, but it has a bit of a more of an orangey reddish tone, and it's a little more open. Okay, I'm going to start with the feet. I'm just going to do just a couple of the large areas. We're just going to do some of this. I'm going to start with the chipping color just to see what it looks like. In fact, I might even go on the underside and see what it looks like. And hell, for all I know, I might do 3 layers of colors. I've been known to do that.
I'm going to change over to the dark rust in just a second. Just to see how different it looks. I mean, this is kind of nice. It's adding just a little bit of that brownish color on top of the gray, which I always like. I just think it looks good. But let's see what the rust looks like. So I'm going to go right into this area and hit it with the rusty color. Yeah, that's good too. More open, obviously, because it's a little bit brighter. In fact, it's coming through a little bit better. I think we're going to go with that. We're going to go with the dark rust. To create a little bit more contrast. But I might change my mind again. We'll see. And there's nothing to say I can't do both. You know, it's my fucking model. I'll do what I want. Yeah, I'll do what I want. Thinking back to the Hudson Valley show that I went to, and the little tank that I put on the table, which came in second in armor, 172nd scale armor. And it was judged by the Amps guys. Amps is primarily they're primarily armor guys. It's an armor show, armor club. And they said that they liked the choice of colors, but the weathering, they said, was inconsistent. And I keep looking at that model and thinking, I'm not sure I understand. But then again, couldn't unfortunately talk to them afterward. The guys had, peeled off. I didn't even know who the judges were. But it was fascinating because, you get that level of like, it's inconsistent where, and I keep looking at it, and then it's like, yeah, but I really like the way it turned out. And ultimately, that's what made me happy. If you're making it to Gundam Galaxy tomorrow, possibly, George being 5 years old. It depends on the weather. If the weather is crap, then I'm going to go to Gundam Galaxy in the morning and head down to see my daughter after that. If the weather is good, I'm going to head down and hit the Sleeping Giant trail. How does that help again? Hopefully that answers your question. I'd be going as well. Nice. Yeah, it really does come down to the weather for tomorrow. I might also go. Sounds fun. Yeah, the guy who put the thing together. Ray, you bastard. Yeah. I was going to drive to South Carolina, so there was a chance I couldn't make it. Oh, really? Does an extra day. CT. Nice. There we go. All right. It's looking good. Let's go to the other side. And this one might actually get 3 layers. You know, Catholic Mass is just Catholic force divided by Catholic celebration. Jesus, Ray. That's funny. That is funny. But is it true? Oh, mercy. South Carolina is a non-extradition state, much like Florida, so therefore Catholic Mass is unaffected by gravity. Yes! Not only stand your ground, but also a state. Yeah. What time we got? Yeah. Be on for a while longer. Not much longer, but maybe like another half hour or so. Maybe a little less, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. Sorry, guys. Give me a second here. Whew. Almost there. Just going around the horn.
Okay. Now we're going to hit this thing up with a little bit of the dark rust.
Okay, what do we got here? Let's see what I'm missing here. Nothing. I'm missing nothing.
There we go. Yep, happy with that. Done with the feet. No, I got to get the kneecaps. I'm sorry.
Nothing. Let's see what we got here. Nothing. Nothing. We're so completely raptured and captivated by your work that talking seems disrespectful. Disrespectful? Oh, be disrespectful. Oh, please. I think that's it on that side. Let's go to this side. Get the kneecap done. There we go. Whew, mercy. All right, sorry, guys. What time does Ask Ray start tomorrow? Wait, wasn't it 11 o'clock? I hope. Raptured. Enthralled. There we go. Okay. Let's see where we are. Chow, you're leaving already? Later, Tom. You know Tom was in. 11 to 3, aka the whole time the store is open. They're open 11 to 3? Right. Did I hear correctly that they are going to be going back to only one side and giving up the other side, the side where they had all the tables originally? There we go. That's it. That one's done. Legs are done. That one is done. Let's move on to these guys. It's like aloha, where hello and really chow means hello. I never knew that. Are we going to be stocking shelves? The formal way is too long to type, and I don't know it. Learn it. Yes, unfortunately, that looks like it's going to happen. It'll be back to the original one storefront. Yeah. So where are they going to put the tables then? Are they going to clear out some of the center kiosks? That's pretty fascinating. Let's see. They closed one side. Yeah, I was one to the wrong door. Anyways, nice. Still both sides for the event. Not sure for the time frame on the plant. Yeah, yeah. I've heard rumor to that effect, which is going to be interesting because then it's like, what are you going to do for like tables? But then again, how many people show up there to build? That's a good question to ask. It's a great venue. There we go. Good enough. Important to remember, none of this is, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, right? Let's see. Fundamental galaxy is shrinking? I think so. Sorry, Tom. I'll also F that one up. Hi, Tom, instead then. Nice. Yeah, that COVID model boom seems to be over. Yeah, it sure do. Well, maybe with luck, we'll have another pandemic, that one that takes out 100,000 people, but grows Bandai's business. That's a joke in case the algorithm is listening. Just trying to do this. So I was Googling it. It'll take less store.
I'll take less store over closing. They're one of the last holdouts in Western Mass. Yeah, who's left? Do you have any other model stores in that area anymore? All the COVID device industries are taking a hit. Yep. COVID was more based on us having disposable income, I think, which none of us have anymore. Well, I think it's a combination of two. We're able also to leave our houses, and we're putting money into different things. Robert, good morning, by the way. How are you? Hope it don't go the way of Gundam Pros. I'd be surprised if they do that. I think it's going to be either keep the current space, if I were to guess, and I don't have any inside information, they would either keep the space as is or they would shutter entirely. There we go. 3. Excess work, lack of resources to do. I have a rough day of work ahead of me. Oh no. I'm very sorry to hear that, Robert. Things how are things other than work? How are things going? Lack of resources to do. Yeah, it was nice when Lunar Toys had the second location, but that lasted like half a year before it went back to a warehouse due to staffing. Yep. Time Machine in Manchester and Craft Tech in Ellington, but that's Northern CT. Yeah. Hold it a second. Time Machine is left and Craft Tech. I don't know where Craft. I've never been to Craft Tech. I like Time Machine quite a bit, and boy, they got space to do fun shit. It's also just a really fun place to visit. There we go. All right, those covers are done. Let's get to the hands, the arms. Time Machine's cool. Yeah, Time Machine's very cool. They're going. Exia is making slow progress slowly. Trying to change the holographic effect on the GN cables, but it seems to be a double-edged sword. How so? I can change the effect, but it gives more of a glare on the part. Not sure if it's more or less visible light now. No, I'm sorry, in lower light either. Interesting. Okay. You're getting a piece of mail delivered to me over and over again. That is for the man who rented my house from my parents years ago. He died, and I wrote deceased RTS on it, and it keeps coming back. And what, you just like return to sender, it keeps coming back. It's like being ping pong. At some point, you'd think the mail service would say, this ain't going anywhere. Old school shop, only a few Gundams, but lots of harder to find. Old stock for aircraft and armor.
As a city tax letter, I'm sure what they need to do, but sending it to me does no good. Yeah, I ain't paying the taxes, right? There were no less than 4 model or hobby shops in my tiny town of 36,000 when I was a kid. Now there are none. Yeah. Well, that's not a surprise in that the obviously what we do for extracurricular activities has changed significantly since we were kids. I mean, just the number of independent toy stores and then even big box toy stores, right? And those are all gone. This is where support for local brick and mortar is tough. It's always a bit more expensive than online shops. Yes, but pay for it. Death tax. Yep. Need to do more. Need to do another time machine build day soon. Every Saturday makes it handy. Yes, it does. Yeah, they're open every Saturday for that, aren't they? I've got 2 and they're barely hanging on. Aging customer base, low profit margins. If you fail to remit payment, you will be reanimated and fined. Oh, I love that. We're going to bring you back from the dead so we can throw you in jail. To write a novel every time it comes back. Another few lines. Boy, but things are going fast here. Michaels and Hobby Lobby. I shop only in that time comic shop. Gotta pay a bit more for the service they provide. Yep. One thing I find though is local shops can be cheaper when you account for shipping. Yes, it's also the change in shopping patterns. I know a few people that don't even leave their house to get clothing anymore. Yeah, I know that one I don't get. Like my family has bought shoes online. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that? No, I gotta try a shoe on. Shoes need to be worn. Need to be worn to be understood. All right. Come on. Get yourself all wet. Boy, I'm really having a hard time here. Sorry, guys. Let me take a look here. The line's crazy. Nothing ever fits. More. Nothing ever fits. It seems to be more convenient. It takes less time, but if you need to do returns, you will still waste the same, if not more time. Yeah. Someone bought a pair of Dickies work pants online, was complaining on the fit yesterday, and I'm like, that's why you should go try them on. Exactly. I get shoes online all the time. They take returns silly. Yes, they do, but it's just the whole, but if it doesn't fit, then you got to do the whole, all right, try them on. I'm out, it's why don't I just go there and do it immediately? Go try on a shoe. And I'll know very quickly, yes, it fits or no, it doesn't. I have to order clothes online sometimes. As certain clothes types are not in stores. Certain clothes types, like what? Like certain types of male jock straps or something, Tom? I'm a creature of habit, so I will stick to the same shoes for years if they're available. Yeah, I'm the same way, 100%, Ray. Or some online t-shirts. I always order XL. ISIS. So much energy expense wasted in shipping clothes to and from. The only. Hey, Peter. Good morning, local Peter. The only clothes I can online are the ones from my neighbor's clotheslines. Peter, that's a good one.
Peter, were you on the Zoom call last night? I feel bad I couldn't make it, but I was like between just spending some time with my daughter and being wiped out. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do it. Now here is where the fun begins. Let's get inside. All right. 2 tones are laid down. I don't understand stress online as trying to find a shop is more tedious. Oh, it's so inconvenient. Oh, rather. No, I didn't make it. Yeah, I didn't either. Someone who has size 13 feet usually, I swear, man. Online has way more options. Yep, the shopping culture in Japan is still based on brick and mortar stores and even allows for small, very niche stores. So it's a joy to go hunt for surprises. Yeah, see, that to me, that sounds so good. And Peter, is that nationwide or is that like a Tokyo thing? I'm assuming it's just a cultural thing across the entirety of the country. Hello. Peter 1 saying hi to Peter 2. Peter 2 saying hi to Peter 1 back. Finding shoes is annoyingly difficult. 13 freaking Sasquatch. Sasquatch is outside of the niche. I usually go out to shop. Yeah. Okay, we are pretty darn close to being done with this. That one's done. That's done. Going around the horn here. I think we're good. So the nice thing about the second layer of chipping is that it can go pretty quickly. Okay. Whew. This arm's almost done. Let's see what we got here. You don't know. Something of them. Plane crash or a cargo ship sinking or train derailment or robbers may happen. All the bigger cities across the country. I'm nowhere near Tokyo, living in the northern. Oh, wow. You live in Hokkaido. Oh, wow. Like that.
is like that. Also, it's almost always shop at the local markets or really need something like a sink for the bathroom. They have a big store for that. Also, grocery stores in the malls. Yeah, I like that. In the if anybody's ever heard the term agoraphobia, that's basically open spaces. Agora in Greek, basically, it's like it's just like an open space, and that's where like in Istanbul and places in Greece, you have an agora, which is basically a shopping area, a massive open space shopping area. I like that. I love being able to just do all my shopping in like one big area. Tank full of Elmo toys that kept washing up on the beach. Sunk tanker was slowly releasing them for years. That's funny as hell. To have one of those. We'll see, just shop local markets. There's also a tanker full of Lego toys off the coast of England. Really, something about being able to buy more wardrobe at dinner. Well, I heard that weren't they ultra rare sets? Really? I thought it meant you were afraid of sweaters. I think Korea delivery staff is suffering a lot when people died from overwork due to delivery timeframes. Really? Ew. It's not good. I think. So I was just about done. Yep. Arm's done. Next arm. Second, guys. The closest we get in the U.S. to a shopping place like that are the malls, but it's the same garbage stores and restaurants. We need better markets. Yeah, exactly. There's a big difference between, oh, look, I'm going to a big open fucking mall, and there's your Sephora and your, your whatever big stores are there. Your Zoomies and your, Hot Topics and your, K Jewelers and all that shit. Yeah, fuck that. If you're yeah, exactly, Tony. Your dress size is included in that one, I think. Too. Wow, really? And the market issue in the States is different from Asia. I would say you're probably right about that, Tom. Hey, Tom, by the way, how's your wife doing? If you don't mind me asking. Come on. You're on so late. It's an easy day today. I got nothing planned except I got to take some stuff over to the town composting. But yes, what's going on, Dwayne? Hope all is well. In Asia, people like to be self-employed, so they open a lot of unique shops. Well, employed. Morning, Dwayne. Wife is okay. She, in my opinion, is being overworked. Probably. Just being there, I'm sure, is a big change. Rainy day here, maybe get some bench time in. Nice. But she harps on it being cheaper, but at what cost? Oh, yeah. Yeah. What's the cost? Good. Been soloing the kids since Wednesday. Yeah. Cool. Your wife's doing well. She's I'm assuming she's traveling. Sounds like maybe my daughter's waking up. When I do hear my daughter fully awake, I'll likely head upstairs. I think we got almost all of this done. Okay. There we go. All right, now we'll do the hand. She good, busy, oldest, has an ear infection that we got. Oh, God. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That is miserable for a kid. I have a big bill I need to start, but I haven't had the mojo. I hear you. I start on the paint booth build. Yay! Awesome. How's it coming along, Tom? Dwayne, just jump in. Once you start, you'll get excited. Figure out the scope of damage for my day. 6 call outs, only 1 call in to replace dead route. I'm assuming that's a dead router. How's your daughter finding nursing school? So far she's like, this is a piece of cake because she's not taking any serious nursing courses. These are all like courses that kind of get her acclimated to college for the most part. She actually turned to us a couple of weeks ago and she goes, I'm thinking of maybe moving over to being a physician's assistant. And we're like, okay, that's where we started. We went to nursing and now we're going back. Here's the thing. You got time. You'll figure it out. But I think generally this is definitely the field that she wants to go into. What part of it right now seems to be a little open-ended. Bring out a cardboard again. Nice. Good for you. Nah, I'm the router. I've got a bunch of techs under my care today. Really? Router as in, what do you mean? You're the router? You're the guy who routes stuff? Or you're the, I thought you're like an IT guy moving like literally physically installing routers. It's only first year. I don't get difficult until, yeah, it doesn't get difficult. Exactly. Nothing wrong with being a PA. No. That's why she's actually thinking about it. She goes, I can make more money. She can. The only hard thing is now that because she started in the nursing program, jumping into the PA program will be a little difficult and she'll have to go 6 years, not 4. We'll figure it out. She'll figure it out. I do dispatch. Got it, Robert. Sorry, I did not know that. Thank you for clarifying. Just sweating on the blocks. I just haven't had the focus on time. It'll come. It'll come. Everything will come in time. Sorry, guys. Another moment here and I'll be right there. Okay. I'm imagining 20 technicians and 23 vendors indirectly. Ooh, wow.
She got a nurse practitioner, same pay, general. Yeah. And that's what I think she's also looking at becoming. This is the thing. Nurse practitioner, physician's assistant. I'm not concerned about her. She's going to get a job out of school and she's going to be fine. Financially, she'll be set. It'll take her a few years to pay off some of the debt. But now with my wife's new job, theoretically, that'll also make things a little easier for her. But yeah, I think whichever direction she goes, it's going to be fine. Yeah, nurse practitioner is another one. Ken, correct? You know the field a little bit more. If she goes into becoming a nurse practitioner, I'm assuming she has to go in for a master's. Okay, let's go into the interior of the hand. Sorry, guys. Give me another moment here. I just want to get some of this stuff wrapped up. Okay, there we go. What's the difference between a nurse practitioner and a registered nurse? Ken can answer that a little bit better, but I think what it is you can do a lot more of what a doctor does. MP can prescribe medications. They can also serve as someone's general practitioner. MP is like an advanced, yeah. So you're moving closer to being able to do some of the stuff that a doctor does. Yes, masters. Yeah, I kind of figured as such. As long as she doesn't have the tag traveling in front of her title. Traveling, as in what you mean in terms of like nurse, traveling nurse practitioner? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the ones that are part of those organizations, maybe I'm thinking a different thing, but aren't those the ones that make a lot of money? Yes, like a doctor. Yeah. She does not want to be a doctor. That's the only thing she goes, I don't want to go to medical school. It's the only thing she said. I don't want to go to medical school. I get it. There we go. That hand, I think, is done. Just want to make sure I got that part of it. The upper arm doesn't get anything. We're good. And now the main body. Again, not a lot going on here. I mean, honestly. Sorry, guys. I'm actually almost done with this, believe it or not. There we go. Who's the doctor? With being the doctor, so like I almost always see an NP. Yep. At two of my doctors, and I see the actual doctor once a year. Correct. Yeah, they earn more, but constantly uproot and move. Really? Hey, if you uproot and move for more pay. Suit people who like to visit new places and travel. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to take call shifts. Don't know how my wife can go in at all hours. I die. I wouldn't be able to take call shifts. Don't know how my wife. Your wife is a nurse as well, correct, Ken? Great for young single people. Good way to sock away the dough. Yeah. Yeah. Problem I have with the uprooting is I would need a lot of more money to pay for the in rate of a condo. Yes. Travel nurse sounds like a new Prius owner. Hopefully. Yeah, she's a nurse. Yeah, I knew that she was a nurse. But she's different. She's in a different field than you, correct, Ken? Golden handcuffs. Ooh. All right, here we have a lot of chipping going on. And here I'm also going to be doing rust layers too. There we go. All right. I'm an old fart, but kind of regret the constant traveling and moving for work at the cost of settling and starting a family. Yeah. I was a rep for many years, and I'm glad it did not work out in the long term, because I much prefer not doing that, especially when you have a young family. We're starting a nursing factory. Oldest got accepted to NSG school this week. Really? Where? Ken, can I ask where she got accepted? That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Location for work. If you want to start a family, it's difficult. Yep. That is very true. Thank you, Peter. Very proud of her. Of course you should be. That is fabulous. At Keene State. Nice. Good for her. Yeah, because now this is the time where all that stuff is starting to come out, right? Did she do early decision or early action? Keene State. Man, I remember Keene State. I'm going to get a lot of this chipping done. And then once the chipping is done, I'll probably call it a session today.
this stuff done before I bail. And right at the top here, I'm not sure. Would I rust any of that? Maybe like a couple of spots. Not a lot. Yeah, maybe just like that. Not a lot. Rust shows age, and part of this is I'm not sure how old I think this thing is. There we go. All right, let's see where we are. Keen says, my best friend. So is 3 days younger than me and is always constantly traveling. No chance to find a stable relationship. Yep, a lot of people in this field don't settle until the late 30s. Others feel in their mid 30s. Where their kids are already in their teens. Yep, she got invited to swim at Keens, so she is excited. Yeah, that's great. And I'm sure that will also include some level of good package as well. That's fantastic, and I'm so happy for you and for her. For her. And you're a proud papa, and I'm happy for you too. All right, that is done. Except one thing we're going to do. We are going to do the lighter chipping color on the exhaust area. There we go. And I may actually end up hitting this thing up with the medium rust as well. Sorry, I'm just going to go on the underside here. There. All right. And also, here. Getting serious scorched enough that it will cause damage. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm just going to go up a little higher on the sides here. And I may do the medium chip, the medium rust color up here too. Give me a sec, guys. I'm sorry about that. I just want to get this kind of wrapped up. There we go. Yeah, good. All right, so let's see where we are. She got a nice scholarship, so that helps a ton. Freaking price of education. Yeah, absolutely. And in the end, especially with things like nursing, you're going to find a job somewhere. You know, beats the price of ignorance, though. Amen. That's free upfront, Cam. I sort of ripped that off from an Einstein quote. Did you really? Yeah, that would make sense, right? Sometimes higher education produces ignorance. Well, higher education does not guarantee intelligence. Like anything, it can be weaponized for stupidity. However, if you take your education seriously and you think about where you're doing and you're taking courses that actually broaden your perspectives, no, you're going to do fine. And you accept that. Look at all the Harvard grads in Congress. Yep. I'm assuming you're saying that in a bad way. Whoops, wrong color. Damn it. I want to go back to my darker brown. Jesus, man. Yeah, I think we are going to push this thing into almost 3 hours. Hot diggity damn. I think that's it on that. Last thing is just this thing right here, just the top. Let's see. Complaining about elitists. Yep. There's a duality and everything, I reckon. Duality and exactly. Mostly thought it's the people in higher education of Google schooling that is the most painful. Of Google schooling? I'm not sure I understand that, but mayhap I'm missing something. Not a lot. I'm just going to do a couple of places here. Do-do-do. There we go. I think I did some like light rusting up here. There. Okay. There we go. All right. This is done. Chipping is done. I'm not going to do any more. No reason to. It's good enough. We'll get the I'll do some dry brushing inside the cockpit just to get a little bit of that edge highlighting kind of done. And that's it. Then we're ready to gloss coat. Now I should probably get gloss coating done tonight, which means tomorrow I should theoretically be working on water slides. We'll see. I love I did my own research. Oh yeah. Those, you know what those people are called? Non-experts. A truly entertaining lot they are. Yeah. Yeah. If anybody's ever read the book, The Death of Expertise, that's exactly what it's about. Everybody has an opinion and everybody thinks that their opinion is suddenly gospel. It's like my opinion is as good as your expertise. And the answer is, no, it's not. You know, when it comes to medical things, if it's a conversation between Ken and me, I'm going to probably defer to Ken, being that he's a nurse, you know?
You know, my car mechanic, if they're telling me that this is what's going on, fine. I'm deferring to you. You're the expert. You want to talk about AV and deployments of AV systems? Well, you know what? I might have a little bit more knowledge than a doctor. Just saying. Those consist of both non-educated and very educated people. Technology is definitely going to be the end of us. I'm not disagreeing with you fully. Idiocracy in the making. Amen. All right. So we are definitely we're in a good place. I'm just going to do a quick review. So interior's all painted. The leather is distressed enough that I'm happy with it. I could probably distress it some more, and I might do that when we get to the oil phase. But for the most part, this is kind of done. Yeah, I could possibly do some, man, I might do some chipping. I haven't decided yet. I might do some chipping along the console here. We'll see. Maybe interior here. I'm going to start with dry brushing first and then take it to the next level. But yeah, that's all done. The feet were the only things that really got chipped, and the kneecaps a little bit, and just some of the exposed areas that were kind of hard. But other than that, I didn't want to beat this thing up. The hands probably got the most chipping because I'm thinking those are the things that are probably, you know, doing the most kind of stuff. And then the hands might also have gotten, like the wrists themselves might have gotten some stuff too. But there we go. And we got 2-layer chipping going on with those. Everything else is, like I said, it's fairly light. I'm trying to not be too aggressive because I look at it, it's like, oh, maybe I should do some more. And it's like, stop, pull back. Look at the Dunning-Kruger effect. Oh, we've talked about that here before. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed, Peter. What were you working on before this? Because I missed when you started this. What are you talking about? Working on before what? Before I started this model or before I started this chipping? The Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where people with low ability at a task overestimate their competence, while those with high ability tend to underestimate theirs. Yes. Yes. Yeah, we've talked about that. Ken's brought that up on more than a couple of occasions here, rightfully so. What was I doing before I started this model? I wrapped up the what they call it. I was kind of assembling the tank, and before that was just finishing touches on the bat plane. That's it. All right, my friends. So with that, at this point, like I said, I'm going to do some additional stuff off camera, get this thing prepared. But we're kind of in a good place right now. It's where I need it to be. So, and at the same time, I need it to get done. The weathering phase itself, the oils that will be applied, the enamels that will be applied, that will all add additional layering and texturing and that kind of thing. I've got under 2 weeks to get it done. I'm feeling fairly confident that I can do this because it doesn't matter, because one way or another, it's done in 2 weeks. Have a great day, George, and I'll see everyone later. Tony, you too, brother. Guys, stay safe and stay sane. Thanks for being on this morning. I really do appreciate it. Fun conversations all around. And thank you for hanging with me while I'm doing all this tedious work, shall we say. I'll be back on again tomorrow, same time, same channel. In the meantime, go out there and brighten the world as much as you possibly can. Is this world not getting crazier when you got the president basically meeting with the socialist mayor of New York, and the meeting seemed to have gone from everything that they talked about well? And then you have on the flip side, Marjorie Taylor Greene is out. I'm like, this world cannot be more upside down. But the good thing is, with all of us here, we can laugh at this stuff and we can try to make each other and just enjoy each other's company and do good for each other. Go out there and brighten the world as much as you can. Just show kindness and love and respect for people. And Washington is a circus. Yes, it is. I mean, every day it's more of a circus. Go out there and brighten the world. Do good, enjoy, and I will see you guys on the flip. Peace.